What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome back into the Quick Pitch MLB DFS podcast and live stream recording here for Monday's 6-game main slate starting at 6:40 over on DraftKings. It is Labor Day, James. We have some day baseball earlier on, but DraftKings has designated the night slate to their featured slate, so that is what we will be breaking down. For those of you watching and you got some action going on in the early slate, please hit our Discord. We're in there. We'll answer your questions. We'll help you out with your lineup decisions there. So we're not abandoning you for the early slate, but all the coverage for today is being featured on this featured slate over on DraftKings.
Yeah, an interesting one at that too, John. And 6 games also on FanDuel thrown in there as well. Both sites,
actually giving us what we want. Actually giving us
agreeing on a slate size 6 games. Should be a good one. Starting at 6:40, so a little 6:40 Eastern, so a little earlier start time than it generally is. But a lot of good West Coast weather here, John. We got 4 games in California, I think.
Yeah,
rain in California.
With the rain that we had to deal with in central U.S. this week.
But not your typical slate of pitching. Truthfully, not any singular ace. I guess you can classify.
Dare you?
You can classify Brady Singer as an ace.
I was gonna say, Mr. Blake Snell at home like that.
You can say Brady Singer is an ace. If you want to say Tristan McKenzie has been one, he's been pretty good himself.
Do you know what Martin Priz's record against the Houston Astros is this season?
I mean, not good. Decent. Martin Perez, coming off a tough start against Houston.
We knew eventually he was going to find some water there, but no. Last couple starts for him, horrid against Houston. Let's just get into it, because like you said, there's just a lot. There's not a lot of gains, but there's also not a lot to talk about. So, Tristan McKenzie's the top price starter. The guy's been great. Better at home than away. This is Kansas City. I faced him twice. Only 9 total innings in those 2 starts, though. 5 strikeouts, 7 walks in 9 innings. Not really like the greatest performance there, but we know KC has been exploitable at times. Unless you're talking to her about our boy Nick Prado, who does well when we don't play him. So, McKenzie, though, overall, been a pretty decent starter. And when you're looking at this slate, he's the top price guy at $10,700. So, do you want to spend that? Me personally, not really. I mentioned Blake Snell. An interesting dynamic with Snell. We know that he's hit or miss, up and down. We've also talked about how at times this year, Arizona against lefties have been good. Yep. Carlos Rodon can't seem to get him out. Then they go and face other lefties, and they get shut down. So This will be Snell's first start against them. Snell at home this year actually has a worse ERA than he does on the road, which is, flipped from what it was last year. But you do look at his most recent start in San Francisco, 6 shutout, 8 strikeouts. He's, more recent outings against Cleveland and Washington. At Washington, 10 strikeouts, 6 shutout innings. So what version of Blake Snell appears here today? That's for you to decide. He's the ultimate GPP play. But again, Arizona has been a team that you can't exploit on the occasional slate here or there. Andrew Heaney might be a popular choice due to the strikeout upside that he brings to the table. Fantastic results of late. You look at his last 10, 70 strikeouts in 46 innings. I mean, that is a wild number. We've talked about San Francisco and, how we've been able to go at them. He faced them once already, 4 innings. He had just 1 earned run allowed, 7 strikeouts in that game. Pitch count, I think, got to him there a little bit. It was his second start in the return to 74 pitches. So that's your top 3 guys on this slate, up over 9K. Is Heaney honestly the most attractive of that group?
So we need to know who's the starter.
So Heaney isn't the starter, is what you're saying.
FanDuel has Tyler Anderson listed.
Anderson. Well, I would love Tyler Anderson then.
Right. Let's look at...
So this is saying as of tonight or yesterday evening, Heaney will start Monday against the Giants. Jack Harris of the Los Angeles Times reports.
Okay.
So
they must have... Did they just announce that? They announced that... Yes? Okay, so they announced that on Saturday, so I don't know why FanDuel's, caught lacking a little bit.
Listen,
here,
if
John.
Anderson's starting, that's fine. I'm in on Tyler Anderson too. We've liked pitching him this season. Tyler Anderson, if he ends up starting,
MLB.com has Heaney. MLB.com has Heaney.
Well, Anderson's 8,900 if he was to go. Also a lefty, right, going up against the Giants. So not much would really change. Obviously, Heaney's shown a lot more strikeout upside this year than Tyler Anderson. Either way, though, both of those guys would be fine for me. But Heaney, I think on a slate like this, that strikeout upside is just kind of hard to ignore.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely hard to ignore. The strikeouts have definitely been great. The only thing we'll have to worry about is Andrew Heaney getting deep into games. The more strikeouts, the more pitches, the more likely it is he won't get past 6 innings. That's
right.
with Dave Roberts as his manager.
And McCarthy, he did throw 91 at least, so
true. True. Yeah, no, I'm not like the pitch count's fine for me because he's still striking guys out. He's still getting through 5 innings, but one labored inning with Dave Roberts, and you never know. FanDuel has Martin Perez as their top price pitcher, John. I'm sure you will not be exploring a 10-6 Martin Perez over there.
I won't be.
But I like all three of these top guys. Heaney's strikeout upside is definitely encouraging.
Yeah, Giants 25% strikeout rate for the last month against left-handed pitching.
That's great news. Even better than Arizona's. Arizona has been a worse offense against lefties. Since the All-Star break, San Francisco 12th in OPS. Arizona 27th, but as you mentioned, 25% strikeout rate. Arizona 23.9. So
on DraftKings, you have to play two. You can play them both.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could play them both.
You can legitimately get 20+ strikeouts out of Snell and Heaney here.
You could, and this isn't to sell Mackenzie short either because he has been really good this year.
Yeah, but you're 10-7 though.
But he's 10-7. I think that's and 10-6 on or 10-5 on FanDuel. Like that's.
Yeah, you mentioned Brady Singer. We've talked a lot about him. Obviously, last start not great against the White Sox, but he's been a guy that's been rolling along with some good strikeout numbers. Again, not counting last start, about a strikeout per inning for him.
Right.
We've talked about Cleveland's lineup. There's some good guys in there, but, they haven't really hit their ceiling since the early part of this year. So, you could possibly go ahead and throw them, and you're looking at, Heaney's Singer rather has been a little bit better at home. Not great record against Cleveland this year, but better form now than he was to start the year. So,
well, his first start against Cleveland was bad. It was the first start of the year. 3 innings, 4 earned. That was his first start of the year. He just faced them in July. 7 innings, 3 earned, 5 strikeouts. And that's in the midst of a 12-game stretch where he's had 10 starts of 15+ DraftKings points, right? So 10 of 12 starts of 15+ DraftKings points, 8,700. Like, that's a super nice floor. And we know Kansas City's offense, yes, they have a few good players, right? But since the trade deadline, they're not striking out, which they just don't, right? They just haven't. 28th in OPS against right-handed pitching. They're dead last in isolated power, and they're 28th in WOBA. So, not a good offense at all right now. Brady Singer, I think, is a really good play all formats. I really like it 87. I'm FanDuel 10-2, John. He's one of 4 guys over 10K.
Yeah, I would go the higher strikeout upside guys with Heaney or Snell there, especially on FanDuel where they don't hurt you. Oh, what's Heaney's price? What do they got him listed?
He's 9,400. That's a really good price.
You kind of have to go there because I guess you get hurt with Heaney with the unlikely he doesn't get the ball. Yeah. But if he gets 10 strikeouts, then he kind of makes up for it there because you're not getting knocked for his walks or hits allowed. So
true. Would that put you? Maybe I agree on Heaney 94 on FanDuel is super appealing, but would that also kind of make you more intrigued on Singer 10-2? Because, I mean, if you look at the resume outside of that White Sox start, and both the last 2 his last 2 non-quality starts were both against the White Sox, and he has 13 or 10. Again, same statistic I gave you. 10 of 12 starts where he's gotten a quality start. Would that maybe interest you more at 10-2?
It could lean that way. What do you think are they favorites in this game against McKenzie and Cleveland? Probably not, right?
Are they home? Who's home?
They're home.
The home team.
Are they favorites?
Yeah, I'm gonna assume they are. I'll pull it up right.
I know Cleveland's not been good, so
they are not the favorites. Cleveland -130 at home with McKenzie on the mound.
It's pretty close then. -130 is pretty close to even.
Close to a pick 'em. Yeah.
What's San Diego against Arizona?
San Diego, Arizona as my changes to the Florida State LSU game.
Not looking for.
As we're San Diego not available.
Not up yet. Okay, interesting.
Andrew Heaney is the biggest favorite on the board as of right now. 5 of 6 games are available. Yeah. Andrew Heaney only one over 2. He's at 210.
Yeah,
he's a 210 favorite.
So I mean, again, the lack of notice of quality starts at 4 points on FanDuel, but again, we're talking the strikeouts can make up for it. I think Snell could be the easy pivot off Heaney because he's got the same strikeout upside. He's got 2 quality starts over the last 4. So
that's fair.
In the mid tier here for DraftKings, though, you got Lance Lynn coming off a really great start against Kansas City. 7 innings, 1 earned, 8 strikeouts. You've been on Lynn for the last handful of starts now. Price tag hasn't really caught up to him. His overall numbers still look like trash because he got off to such a bad start, right?
Yeah.
But these last 4 starts, how do you argue with it, right? He's got a total of 5 earned runs over his last 24 2/3 inning. In terms of strikeouts there, we're looking at like 29 Ks during that stretch. So a guy that's giving you at least 18 DraftKings points in 4 straight. On the road against Seattle, I don't know what your thoughts are on that matchup, but 7,900 for Lynn the way he's rolling right now. If you're on 2 pitcher sites, like we don't want Logan Webb. We know that.
No,
right? So,
no.
This mid-tier run, it could be a Lance Lynn or it could be Jose Suarez against Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lynn's going to garner a lot of ownership here, considering the stretch he's in. Dude, this guy's just a good pitcher. Like, he's a good pitcher who started his season injured and then came back and just wasn't pitching well. And
no. He was pitching. No, well, doesn't even. His first
set. Yeah, no, he's pitching very bad. Yeah, very bad. Very bad.
I was ready to think his career might have been over. Right. Looking like Dallas Keuchel out there. And,
oh God, don't. That's oof.
R.I.P. Dallas got a DFA today.
Don't worry, he'll get another job. It's 4 times this year.
I hope so because we need him for our DFS success.
True.
When Patrick Corbin's out there throwing 1-run ball.
I mean, look, the thing that we have to worry about here is the home run ball. That is all Seattle is doing right now. They're just hitting home runs. Against right-handed pitching, they are 4th in isolated power behind the Dodgers, Cardinals, Braves. Like, really good company. Yes, they're 15th. WOBA, they're 16th. Like, they're not doing anything but hitting home runs. Think about, like, Eugenio Suarez. Like, sub-200 average over the last 10 games, like 5 home runs. Julio Rodriguez hitting sub-200, hitting home runs. Like, that's all Seattle. So if Lynn, who has been bit by the home run ball, can just allow the 1 home run that he's given up the last couple of games, we're fine.
Yeah, it's right-hand pitching though. The last 2 weeks they haven't been very good.
No, they have been good over and these numbers are since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
So
last 2 weeks hitting 204, 296 WOBA, 194 ISO still. So home run power.
It's just only they are only hitting home runs.
218 batting average in balls in play. They're.
We just need to worry about the home runs, which again, a little scary because he's allowed 16 home runs in 15 starts.
They have the number 1 ISO over the last 2 weeks while hitting 204. So I don't know. You're right. Just keep it in the park there, Lancey. You're
I mean,
hey, at least it's a big park, right? Seattle.
Yeah. If this was in Chicago, I would probably be more reserved because it's played so small this year, but it's not. So that we have that to hang our hats on.
Yep. So I said the other one I'd look at is Jose Suarez. Against Detroit. Again, I've touted Detroit against lefties this year. They've been hit or miss. I actually think they did pretty well the other day. I think Baez home, Candelario had a couple RBIs. So, there are still guys in that lineup that, historically their numbers are very good against lefties. They're just not a good offense. So, Suarez at home here against Detroit could be a really good spot for him. Got 6 innings last time. Pitch count, again, is something with him that we run into every now and then. He got a 97 pitches against Oakland during his 2-hitter there. 82 pitches against Seattle. 87 pitches against the Yankees last time out. So could be up and down, but he's 7K. We mentioned we're not playing Logan Webb. I understand his last start, 5 2/3, no earned. Start before that against Detroit, just 4 2/3. Didn't give up any runs. Earned, give 6 total. But the guy has really just been shaky. Right, yeah. And I don't know, against the Dodgers lineup, you don't want to throw that out there. If his walks prop is at 1.5 again, though, hit the over. I think he's gonna. guy's been a wild problem.
I'm shocked he has a sub-3 ERA. Shocked.
He was off to a really good start.
Absolutely shocked.
But the last month, he's just really started to fall off the cliff there a little bit.
The Dodgers offense is just not the offense that you want to face when you're not pitching all that well.
Yep.
And he's not pitching all that well.
How do you approach Marco Gonzalez here? Because we know lefty, he's against White Sox, has been a matchup for us. But we've always talked about Marco sort of having the reverse splits. There was a point in time where this year that wasn't the case, and then it recorrected itself. Where are we at right now? Is Marco Gonzalez back to being better against righties than he is lefties, or is he tailing back off? Because he's got an ERA under 4, so he's.
No, he's pitching. He's pitching fine.
He's an MLB number 4 starter. That's
correct.
What he is.
Yeah, he is. There's a reason why he's on this team, and you know what's funny? I was thinking about it today, stacking against Dylan Bundy. This year, Dylan Bundy, stacking against Dylan Bundy is just, not profitable. And I feel like that's like what it is. And you would never believe that. And then you would look at Marco Gonzalez and you'd be like, it's probably profitable to stack against him, but it's just not. Like he doesn't allow like many home runs, just 7 over his last 10 games. He's allowed 1 home run in his last 5 starts.
So Rhett hitting 281 have hit 15 of the 21 home runs off of him. He's kind of got even splits though. Lefties 263 with an 820 OPS. The OPS for lefties is actually higher than it is against righties, 780 OPS, but it feels like maybe this is the first time in a little bit where the numbers have been pretty close.
Yeah. White Sox don't have any lefties, though. They have Gavin Sheets. That's the only lefty that they would even play.
Right. So power-wise, maybe we do go back to some of these, Eloy Jimenez, Jose Abreu, bats here when we get to those positions. Because, again, Gonzalez here at 68. I'm not really interested in throwing him against Chicago.
No.
We're definitely not going to pitch Tyler Alexander. Yep. Kept on trying to say Tyler Anderson. I was trying to fight my own brain there for a second. Tyler Alexander, we're not going to pitch him. But then you mentioned we have 2 guys making their major league debuts.
Yep.
We have Hunter Brown coming up here. He had AAA. He had a 2.55 ERA with a 31.5% strikeout rate.
Yeah, monster.
He's running up against Texas. The Rangers had some trouble against Brian Bayo on Saturday, and then Josh Winkowski, after a tough first inning, kind of settled down and held them down. Brutal. So, Hunter Brown at 5,200 on a small slate, given the strikeout potential, maybe. There's still some good bats in Texas. We love Nathaniel Lowe. Simeon's kind of getting hot a little bit. Seager. So they definitely have some guys that can do some damage. But Brown is a big strikeout guy down at the minors. And then Ryan Nelson, righty, coming up from AAA, making his major league debut here as well, going up against San Diego. Probably not a great matchup for him. 5K for him. Any interest in either youngster here?
So the Nelson thing is scary for him. He's been a fly ball pitcher in the minor leagues. He's allowed 25 home runs this year, John, at AAA. So I will not be going there. 40% fly ball rate this year at AAA, just not great. Just 36% on the ground. Like, everything's going to be hit in the air. Hard not to like Brown, just given the strikeout upside. Yeah. And I think he would be the more appealing option of the two. I mean, he definitely he has the better spot when both offenses are at their best. Like San Diego's obviously has Juan Soto. Right. Nelson against lefties specifically, John, this year in AAA, 844 OPS, 496 slug. Like, it's going to be a tough spot for him. So I think Brown is fine. I think he's the spend down punt option.
Okay.
Over Nelson.
Works for me. All right, go to catcher. We got Will Smith, W.D. Smith against Logan Webb here at 56, expensive. Salvi and Melendez against McKenzie here is a bit expensive as well. You can go there. Obviously, Salvi and Smith have big power. This isn't bad with the home run ball either, but tougher matchups for those two, I think, against McKenzie. Vasquez, as we talked about, starting to come down a little bit. He did have that super hot streak there a little bit last week, but he is better generally against lefties. He has the Martin and Perez matchup. Kelly, as we've talked a lot about, goes up against Snell. We generally have played him against lefties. Numbers on him are back on the rise. 320 with an 840 OPS the last 10. Mid-tier at $3,500. So if you're not playing Snell, maybe that's a route for you. I still tied up Acas against lefties. He has Suarez at 33. Any other catchers for you?
I mean, this tier, I think the tier literally from...
I hope Sebi plays, truthfully. Just give me Sebi at 25 and let me move on.
Yeah, so I like him. I think the tier from Grandal. So I was going to say I like the catcher in that game, whoever it is, whether it's Grandal or... Like, from Cal Raleigh to Grandal, I think are all in play. Like, Raleigh has nothing but power, right? So we can get a home run off Lance Lynn, because that's all Lance Lynn does, give up home runs. Jonah Heim against the rookie, making his debut. I know he's been a corpse of himself.
Yeah, he has been
0.69 batting average. Still hitting 5th. We mentioned Carson Kelly heating up.
Ever since Jonah Heim was the only guy to homer off Ohtani when we played him that day or whatever it was.
Right? And he hit 2. I think he hit 2. Like, it was like the second slate of the year or something like that. We're like, what is a Jonah Heim? Yeah. Kelly, you mentioned Eric Haas. I do have some interest in Austin Nola if you're playing a full Padres stack. And then Grandal has been slightly better. And you mentioned it. Like, Marco Gonzalez against righties hasn't been the greatest. So all those guys plus Sebi, and I think you have your catcher spot.
Yep, I'm with you there. I mentioned Haas. I don't know, Tucker Barnhart.
Yeah, I didn't mean to skip him.
I'm just going down to if Tucker Barnhart starts too, you could maybe take a shot at that.
I didn't mean to. I agree with you on the Haas front.
No, you mentioned Haas. You didn't skip him. I was just saying, like, if Haas doesn't start, Tucker Barnhart's a little bit cheaper. Homered the other day. Could be a spot. First base, you got Ohtani here against Alexander. Again, 6,400. He's just super expensive.
Do you think he's priced that way because like the algorithm can't figure out how to like?
No, I think he's priced that way because he has 30 home runs and 20 stolen bases. Or I guess he's got 11 stolen bases because he's got 30 home runs and 11 stolen bases. I think that's why he's priced that way. Why is Aaron Judge priced the way he is? Because he's hitting leadoff now and leading off in home runs. So like.
Well, I mean, okay, that's fair.
Ohtani led the league with home runs last year.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's fair. You know what? That's fair.
He's just like he's unbelievable. Freeman and Cash at 57. Yep. I don't ever really play a lot of Freddie Freeman. Do you? Like I almost never play Freddie Freeman for no reason.
I do. I play him, but like I think we both.
There's no like the home runs aren't there.
Yeah, the home runs aren't there.
When was
the
last time he homered? He homered.
You just go to Trey Turner or Mookie, right? Let's just go to if you can't really spend up on all of them, so you just end up getting Mookie.
Well, just look at the gaps. He has 2 home runs since July 23rd.
I mean, I would say he is one of the few people in baseball that could probably break a slate without hitting a home run. He has 43 doubles.
I know.
That is like absurd. 43
But when you
doubles.
talk about guys who get like weird price downs and you're like,
true.
Like he just doesn't get it. But
he doesn't.
You know.
He's 7 for 15 off Logan Webb.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Maybe
no home runs.
Maybe Omer.
No home runs.
Maybe
no home runs though.
Yeah, no home runs. Yeah, he's like the Alex Verdugo, 5,700, right? Like, bunch of doubles. Abreu at 44 again. I mean, he's no longer hitting 500. So, but even then, you look at his recent games. Like, when was the last time? It's been a week since he's didn't get a hit. So, why? Like, look at the numbers for Jose Abreu and then look at them for Freddie Freeman and tell me why there's a $1,700 price difference.
One's on a really good team and one's managed by Tony La Russa.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's not a ton of I get there's 20 RBIs, but like, I'm just saying.
BVP only 6 at bats. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah,
not the best.
You mentioned power. Ty France, 4 home runs last 10 games.
Yeah, man. He's been on fire.
Listen, we love Ty France, right? We've been in on him a lot. He just was hurt. He came back and he wasn't the same guy, but now he is. So, this could be a little dangerous there. Nathaniel Lowe, yes, please. I said today the only thing I was discouraged about playing Tristan Casas was that I couldn't continue to play Nathaniel Lowe, and then Lowe had to hit in the run scored early. Casas had a seeing eye infield single for his debut today, but I mean, I'm happy they finally put him over 4K. I might be just going here anyways. He's at least in a lineup. He's just been too good right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lock in cash games.
Yeah.
For sure. And you can probably play him in all your tournament lineups as well.
Don't look now. Christian Walker's hot. 333, 914 OPS, last 10. Righty-lefty matchup here. Does he have any BVP against Snell? He probably does.
He is 0 for 12.
Oh, how many strikeouts?
I do not see that, but he's 0 for 12 off Blake Snell.
Probably not a good strikeout ratio. He strikes out a lot, but I mean, we talk about this guy a lot. 31 home runs,
He's actually been. Honestly, Christian Walker's kind of hasn't struck out a lot this year. 99 strikeouts in 131 games.
There was a time where he had like a 30% strikeout rate, but
I feel like that's a pretty good ratio, though, right?
I'll take it.
99 strikeouts in just 131 games.
I'll tell you what his strikeout rate is. It's probably under 25% now. Let's see. Christian Walker.
18.
Wow.
18% K rate, dude. This is a career low.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not even being fair to this man. 23% last year.
He's having a monster. He's having an absolute monster year.
You know what's killing him is the batting average on balls in play. It's 229.
Yeah.
The last 3 years, Christian Walker batting average on balls in play, 312, 317, 307. This year, it's 229. Christian Walker might be an MVP. He just has horrible batted ball luck.
Imagine he just has last year's. Like, we don't even do like the 2020 BABIP.
Dude, his ISO is 247.
Yeah, I know. So, no, he's having a great year.
Yeah, you give him a 300 batting average on balls in play, he's probably hitting 270.
Expected slug 508. This
what's his expected batting average? Do we have an expected batting average?
258. 258.
I'll take that.
24 points higher. I mean, listen. Yes. How many runs higher? How many RBIs higher? How many? There's a lot of hits. A lot.
So 4K Christian Walker and GBPs against Blake Snell. I think we're in. Andrew Vaughn against the lefty at 38. We've enjoyed that.
He's actually been worse against lefties this year,
when did that happen? He was killing them earlier. He's hitting like 400.
Yeah, I take it back. No power though. Only 1 home run against lefties this year.
What's his average?
Very good. 340.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought he was like 400 against lefties.
No, he is 340.
Okay, but he's just doubles, just no.
Yeah,
no
just one of his home runs.
Crazy. Prado's at 27. You've liked this Mark Mathias cat. Hasn't really done much of late, but
okay, he's fine. Like
2600.
Very lately hasn't done anything. Before that, he was crushing.
Sure.
So if he's in the lineup, end of the lineup, there's a rookie on the mound. I don't hate it.
All right, but I think that's probably it. Anybody else for you?
No.
Yeah, not really for me either. Unless you're in on San Francisco bats, I guess.
No, I mean, like you can because he gives up a lot of fly balls.
Yeah. That's
your only thing that you can hang your hat on if you're playing San Fran. He gives up a lot of fly balls, and San Fran does have some powerful pitches.
Second base, Altuve is at 57 against Perez.
He's been nuts.
Yeah, he's hitting 425 at a 1200 OPS. So.
And he just crushes left.
Yep.
He's like
home.
One of those.
He's home too, so he gets that short wall. So.
He has a 52 at-bat sample against Martin Perez. Never homered, but 288 average is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, what's our be prepared for my Mancini BVP question? Because, righty, lefty in Houston.
Got it.
Jimenez against Singer. Again, I've been a sneaky Jimenez player this year. Just nobody else plays him. Not great numbers of late. Kind of expensive, but I imagine, again, it will come in under 5%. So.
Yep. At that price, it will, for sure.
At that price, for sure. Marte, 4,600 against Snell. Against lefties, we tend to play that spot for him. You mentioned the Arizona rookie has struggled. Cronenworth's 3,900.
I like that a lot. I like Cronenworth a lot.
On a 6-game slate, he's probably worth the dart throw there. Struggles of late, but, Fletcher at 31, if you want to spend down, I like him on all formats. He's going to lead off against Alexander.
Angels, maybe a sneaky Angel stack here, John.
I don't even know if they're going to be sneaky on a 6-game slate.
Fletcher 31, you can play him at multiple positions. You can play Rengifo.
Okay, we're definitely going to play. We're going to talk about Rengifo in 2 minutes.
Dude, he rakes against left-handed pitching.
Yep. Alexander's trash too. So
yeah.
What's we got righty splits against Alexander?
Yeah, righties are hitting 286, 810 OPS, 347 WOBA. Okay. So yes, please.
Like that. I don't really see much else though at second base under Fletcher.
I'd play Chris Taylor 24 or 34.
Okay.
So slightly above Fletcher.
So if you're stacking Gonzalez the other day had a home run.
Yeah, okay.
26. If we're going against lefties, I mean Willie Castro, he homered the other day too. So if you want to get that weird Detroit stat.
Yeah, we have mentioned too many Tigers against lefties throughout this podcast.
I know. Candelario's 3K too, so Candelario 786 OPS last 10. He's heating up 2 homers. We're back in. All right, third base. Bobby Witt is your most expensive third baseman at 6,200. That seems a little off, but we know he hits righties for power, so he's more expensive than Ramirez, more expensive than Machado, more expensive than Suarez, more expensive than Bregman.
Seems wrong on every level.
Macho Man at 59 if you want to go against the Arizona rookie.
Yep.
Right? And then I know we've been playing Bregman against righties, but he's been so good. Would you just ride him against Perez here?
Yeah. If you're stacking...
You can't stack Houston without playing him, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you're stacking Houston, you're just playing Bregman.
Yeah. Turner's been good lately.
Dude, so good. So good. So good. And we finally got the home run. During that whole stretch, it's like the Freddie Freeman thing. He wasn't homering, and then he did, and it's like, oh, yeah, he's still that dude. We're going to look up at the end of the year, and Justin Turner's going to hit 290, even at 38 years old. So, yeah, I'm perfectly fine.
You mentioned Rengifo here. Again, if you're looking for that mid-tier option against a lefty, the power, it feels like we mention him, but then we don't play him, and then we look at the box score, and it's like, oh, of course he homered, right?
7 of 11 home runs against lefties.
Yeah, he's hitting 319 with a 901 against left-handed pitching. The problem with us is that we love the third base position too much to ever really spend in the mid-tier, right? So we're always like, oh, we're locking in Bregman, or oh, we're playing Riley tonight, or whatever, Devers. We never play the mid-tier, and that's where Rengifo sits. Longoria, obviously, against lefties. We know history with him. Power-wise has always been there. I know this year he's been a little bit down. Candelario's at 3K. Anybody else for you? What's this? Creedlow's not doing it.
John, to your Longo point, we have had a resurgence. Hitting 310, 6 home runs, 395 WOBA against lefties.
Okay, early this year, he wasn't hitting much. So he was slow.
Well, he's good. He's been good lately, so, that could be a big reason why.
Yeah, 310, 1,000 OPS, 2 homers for him, so I'm with you. contrarian stack because I think we're all going to be playing against Heaney, or playing Heaney most likely.
Yep.
So
probably contrarian to play Emmanuel Rivera too, 31. But he hits left. He's been hitting lefties very well.
Sure. Rivera, Arizona there, 250, 733 the last 10. Does have 11 bombs on the year, so with you. Shortstop, we mentioned Britt, multi-position eligibility there at 62. Trey Turner, 61. Seager's at 58. That's in Rosario. Not really going to pay that for Rosario, but those are your guys over 5K.
Just Turner and Seager.
Okay.
But I don't think either are like locks.
Yeah.
The only thing is it's a weaker position.
I might just play Baez for the home run.
Yeah, it's the Baez against lefties. Still hitting lefties well. I think Fletcher, you can slide over to short. And then Elvis Andrus still leading off, gets a lefty. Yeah. And he's been good, dude. Like, he's been really good for the White Sox. So, what is this? Hits in 8 straight games with, like, 5 multi-hit games?
Yeah.
Leading off? Some power, too? Like, I'm with you on Baez, 41. But if you're not playing Baez... Elvis Andrus 2,800.
Baez 308, 841 OPS against lefties this season. You mentioned Elvis Andrus since the trade, or since his release and signing with the White Sox. 14 games, he's hitting 276, 725 OPS. But he does have the 2 home runs. So
just over his last 5 games, over the last 5 games too. Yep. And I'd like to know what it's just been a weird thing to see, but what his numbers are at the leadoff spot, because he's been really good for the White Sox, hitting 333 out of the leadoff hole. So it's only a 4-game sample, but you know what? They're going to keep rolling him out, and he's going to keep hitting 2,800's a really good price.
No arguments for sure. We mentioned 2,800. You can get Witt. You can be able to get in Jimenez, not Witt, Abreu, Jimenez, and things like that into that stack. So I don't hate it. I think it could be done depending on how your lineup construction goes there. What was Velasquez?
He's free.
Yeah, 2,300.
You're looking at the split?
Yeah.
What he's better at?
He's switch hitter, so.
Yeah, he is. He's not doing great. 237.
Yeah, the power has got 8 homers on the year. I know he was kind of a little hot for short spurt, so.
Only one against Southpaws.
All right, outfield then. Betts at 65, Ohtani 64. You mentioned at first base. Rodriguez homered today at 63. You got Jordan versus lefty. You got Soto. Like, where are you? Where's our spend-up spots here?
I think Soto's my number 1. I know he's been bad.
He's really been bad for, most of the year, right? He popped up for a little bit, and then he's just, it hasn't been a good year for him.
So the numbers in Washington, he was super unlucky. And this expected numbers are still pretty crazy when you look. 385 WOBA on the year, expected 413 WOBA.
Yeah.
His expected batting average is 272.
But that's even not really great for him, so.
Yeah, but that's 30 points higher than, 521 expected slug. I agree that this has been a very just 245 BABIP, John.
Yeah.
Like, the walk rate's the same. The K rate's even down from years past. His ISO is higher than it was last year. I agree that the average has been bad, but I think this is a spot against a guy giving up a lot of home runs that Soto can break out of it. I like Mookie Betts. Obviously, he's been just lighting baseballs on fire.
6 homers, last 10. Yeah, Mookie's.
And I guess the J-Rod thing is home run dependent, right?
Yep.
Because Lance Lynn's given up a lot of home runs. We know J-Rod hits home runs.
Yep.
And then Mike Trout probably tops the list.
Yeah, whatever.
He's right there with Soto.
Yeah, right. Before Trout's on fire again, and pair him up with a stack like we've talked about. So, yep, I'm with you. Mid-tier options here. Eloy's at 42. You mentioned home runs for Seattle. Guys like Winker, Haniger's been better against righties than lefties this year. Mancini, though. Where's your BVP at for Mancini against Perez? Do we have it?
Yeah, he is 6 for 16. So
okay.
375 average. No home runs. Fun fact, John, nobody in Houston's projected lineup tomorrow has homered off Martin Perez.
Interesting. Okay. Mancini hasn't been great, of late. Like, he got up to a hot start, but 170 his last 10, does have 2 homers. But, we know this ballpark's a little bit more conducive to him.
Yep.
So, 3,900, I'm a big fan of that still. What other guys are you looking at here? After we get through the top list, the middle tier only has a few for me.
In the mid tier, I don't really have much to add, to be honest. I can't even go Bellinger anymore.
Yeah, Gallows off the map. I guess
Pollock. So I don't know if he's going to lead off. I still think it's going to be Elvis Andrus.
Yeah, Andrus.
I think Pollock is going to hit in the really good spot, like fifth. I think he hit fifth the last time they faced a lefty. So that's fine, and he's crushing lefties, so I would go there. McCarthy homered again today, John. Just, throwing that out there.
I know, he doesn't even matter if it's lefties anymore. He's just a really good player.
Yeah, he's just a really good player.
3,200 still.
Dude, now we're getting power on the board, like, forget it. Like, the dude's driving in runs, he's scoring runs, he's hitting for power. It doesn't matter, righty lefty. I'd play McCarthy. Grisham, I know he's been a corpse, but lefties against Nelson has been a thing. And then, dude, Taylor Ward, slowly coming around, has been good all year against lefties. I know he was, like, off to that otherworldly start to begin of the year.
Yeah.
And, like, his numbers were better than, like, both Trout and Ohtani at that point. Starting to get a little bit of life, and he's been good against lefties. To complete your Angel stack, I don't hate Taylor Ward 30.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Stone Garrett?
Yeah, man. Interesting, right? Like, everyone's so excited about Corbin Carroll, and then Stone Garrett's kind of been better.
Yeah.
I know it's a very small sample size for both.
Very small sample size.
But Stone Garrett's given us the home runs. So, he gets the split advantage. I think we'll almost guarantee he's in the lineup, because when you look at the rest of Varsho lefty, McCarthy lefty, Thomas lefty, Carroll lefty.
Yeah.
Garrett's the only righty of those 5 outfielders. So, yeah, listen, there's bad versions of Blake Snell all the time. So, I definitely don't hate Stone Garrett.
I think maybe my last value dart throw there would be Joe Adell if he finds his way into a lineup, right, against lefty.
Sure. Complete the stack. Not as a one-off, but
yeah, not as a one-off. Complete the stack. Some power's been there of late. This dude hits in the minors, right? Like, yeah. he hasn't figured out yet, at the major league level. So, maybe something to pay attention to there a little bit. So, had 3 home runs during the month of August. It's a limited sample size of playing. So,
yeah,
I got nobody else. Anybody else for you?
I'm looking.
It's 6 games, so there's only so many options.
There's if you're playing a Ranger stack, the Odies, but he's been, Michael Taylor's been great lately, but how much exposure do we want against Tristan McKenzie?
Right.
But he has been great. There's no denying that.
Yeah, I mean, McKenzie's been a good, but he hasn't been shutout good. Like,
he hasn't been unhittable, and
he's given up 6 home runs his last 6 starts. It looks like
that's interesting.
6 home runs over his last 7 starts.
Well, Taylor has 3 home runs over his last 6 games.
Yeah.
5 multi-hit games over his last 7. So
again, we're just saying, if you're trying to get different on a 6-game slate, you can maybe go Kansas City.
Yep.
So, all right, home run call.
I'm gonna go Mike Trout.
Going Mike Trout.
I think that the more we talked about the Angels in this slate, the more Tyler Alexander this year. We talk about strikeouts being the Angels' Achilles heel, right?
Yeah.
Take a guess what Tyler Alexander's strikeout rate is this season.
17%.
Lower.
14%.
Lower.
I got nothing. Go ahead.
12.8%. So if he's not missing bats against a team that misses, just can't hit the baseball at times, we're 40% fly ball rate too for Tyler Alexander. Give me Mike Trout here.
Yep, I'm with you there. I am gonna go with. You're gonna go Trout. I'm gonna go Jose Abreu. Sure.
Okay.
We'll go Abreu. All right, let's go with our pitching here. We're gonna build our lineup. Are we locking in Heaney?
Yeah, we're gonna go Heaney. I would. My vote is probably Heaney, Lance Lynn.
Okay.
But that feels too chalky. Okay. I think Lance Lynn's gonna be super chalk.
Well, if we go Heaney, Brown.
Singer? Heaney. Ooh, that's interesting.
We'll be able to spend up for whoever we want.
Well, and Mike Trout is number 1. I think
right.
Trout and let's try that. Let's try that.
Well, Heaney, Brown. We'll stick in Trout. Rengifo, I imagine then, or are we gonna go one off Trout?
No, I think Rengifo. You want to roll him at second to start?
Sure.
So we have the potential exposure at third that we like.
Okay, so we'll do Rengifo at second as soon as my eyes can adjust to him there. We obviously have to play Ohtani then, right? Do we play him at outfield or first?
Well, you have Jose Abreu as your home run call, so we're probably playing Abreu, right?
I mean, we could. We don't have to. I think he's.
Yeah, let's play Abreu. you're calling him as a home run. He's been super incredibly consistent.
Do we play Ohtani though, right? Like
do you want to play? Yeah, let's play Ohtani in the outfield. 37.75 with Abreu Ohtani.
We'll find a punt catcher. Haas maybe at 33.
Yeah, I like Eric Haas against lefties. I think that's a play. And we have, and you already mentioned it. I think Grandal is one, and then Barnhart and Sevi. We have 3 catchers that we could go down to.
I mean, I would play Sevi if he's active because he's 2K.
It's just we can't
fit that in quite at the moment.
So 3,900.
Shortstop, do we play Baez or do we go Fletcher and just do a 4-man? Baez obviously has the home run.
I think I would throw Andrews into that mix too, depending on how much money
because we have Abreu. Let's do Andrews.
Do a mini stack there with the White Sox.
Yeah.
4,500. So we have a couple options because if we want to do a 3-man White Sox, you could do like Pollock, you could do Vaughn, and then it gives you a lot of money for third.
Do you play Machado?
That would mean Pollock. I think you still can't even get Machado with Pollock.
Yeah.
So it would have to be lower than Pollock. You can get Bregman
and then Pollock
as a one-off. You do Bregman, Pollock. Is Vaughn 38? Yes, or 200 off Vaughn.
Obviously, it would depend on what kind of stack you'd want to do. I don't think we'd want 4-4. Well,
I mean, that's not something I'm against.
Bregman's our one-off anyway. So I was gonna say if Sebi gets in there, that's $1,300 more. We'd have 47 for an outfield. We could go up to Machado like we wanted to, and then play Eloy.
So that's where I would rather have. Jimenez he's the one who has not been good against lefties.
Okay.
He just has one of his home runs against lefties. He's been fine, 283, but just the 318 WOBA.
Sure.
Where Vaughn and Pollock has 9 home runs against lefties, 10 on the year. So 9 of his 10, 411 WOBA. Like all his power is against lefties. And then I said it earlier, like you said, Vaughn hitting 340. So I would rather those two over Jimenez, personally. If you wanted to get to Machado, I think it would be a 4-stack White Sox, but we go with Grandal or Zavala. Right,
I'm trying to think. Would we?
My only thing with full stacking the White Sox is
they let us down all the time.
Yeah, and Marco
could shut them down. Yeah, he's not bad. He's
one home run over his last 5 games. Sure, he could get hit. That's not 5 earned 9 hits against Texas, 6 earned 9 runs against the Yankees. There's plenty of samples where he's hasn't been good. It's just. White Sox do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where we go. That's the problem, right? We have to figure out a pitcher to attack here. What if?
I mean, I like San Diego, so I have an idea.
Would you move Rengifo to third?
That's exactly my idea. That was exactly what I was thinking, dude. Because I'm thinking of we don't have any Padres. I don't know if that's a big deal to you, but I like the Padres. I don't know if you have the same feeling as I do.
I mean, I'm okay with Cronenworth, but I don't. I mean, we play.
Yeah, you don't want to get to Soto. I think you're.
So so if we go to Soto, then we're definitely in hopes of a Barnhart and or Sebi start.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to.
Because otherwise, there's no real other catcher down here that we're playing.
Yeah, it's the only ones. I agree. So we can't really do that.
We could do. This is 33. We got 3,300 outfielder. We could play. We're not playing Snell. If you like McCarthy, we could do Altuve as a one-off at second.
Yep. Dude, that's exactly what I built.
Right.
Exactly what I built.
I mean, you want a 4-man LA? Taylor Ward fits into that spot. Rengifo, Trout, Ohtani, Ward.
I mean, what are your let's just go over this real quick.
Sure.
Tyler Alexander since the break, 5.02 ERA, 7 of his 11 home runs, 476 WOBA. Since the break, 1.67 home runs per 9. The strikeout rate is actually lower than his season average, 12.1.
Yeah.
The xFIP is bad, and the fly balls are even elevated, 42.5. There's 40% hard hit rate. Dude, let's just look. Our Red Sox 5-man worked. Let's roll 4-man. Let's run 4-man Houston.
Okay.
Angels.
4-man Angels. I'm trying to see how my brain is running at the moment here.
and we have so we have Altuve as a one-off, with Haas as a one-off, and then the mini Abreu Andrus stack.
Yeah, I'm just playing around. I took out Abreu and put Ohtani at first. That gives us 4,600 for an outfielder, which there's really nobody in that range. But
we didn't like it, right? We
didn't care for it.
Well, it looks like it comes down to Abreu versus Eloy.
Well, here's if we moved Ohtani to first, we could play Mancini with Altuve. It's not a real connection because Altuve hits like first or second, and Mancini hits sixth in that lineup.
And then Vaughn with Andrus.
You could do Vaughn with Andrus. What if we did? What if we moved Rengifo back to second? Right.
Yep.
Put Machado in at third. 4,400 for an outfielder. Profar? Do you like Profar?
I have. How much do you want to play the White Sox?
I don't really care to play the White Sox. I guess
because
I don't mind them. It's a small slate. I think they have some good bats. We mentioned that Marco this year, righties actually have been a little bit better power-wise, but I'm not in love with them, Because
we do what you said.
But I just think Andrus at 2,800 is just a good value at short.
Yeah, no, great value. Because what I did was when we moved Ohtani to first, I then removed both outfield spots, and we had 3,750 left with Machado at third, and I went Vaughn, Pollock.
Okay, so you have Trout, Ohtani, Rengifo.
Trout, Ohtani, Rengifo. 3-piece nugget with the White Sox, Andrus, Vaughn, Pollock, and then one off Machado, one off Eric Haas.
I kind of want to go 4-man LA though.
Okay, I do too. I mean, if you want, Joe Adele is also an option at 2,300.
Would you play Adele over Ward?
No, but I was trying to open
to save the money, right?
Yeah, I was just seeing what the salary would be. It's a tier that again
5,200 for an outfielder.
I don't think we like this tier. I think we feel more comfortable. So if we went Ward 31, we have 44.
Where are we with Profar versus righties this year? Is he better versus lefties or righties?
Profar is hitting 241 against righties, but 329 WOBA. Let's check the ISO. He's been pretty good against righties. 329 WOBA, 11 home runs. So,
would you do a Profar Machado against this rookie that you say is?
Yeah, 25 home runs in AAA.
Right.
That's a lot of power. I don't hate that. All right. So still leading off. Did hit a home run 2 games ago. Maybe some signs of life. 2 multi-hit games in his last 4. Right? There's something cooking there.
Yeah.
Something little.
Who knows? Right? And then, obviously, if we need to pivot down, like I said, if you need more money, if you're not comfortable with that, if Sebi starts at 25, I'd be fine spending down and saving some money on catcher. We don't really have any money to go up. I think maybe in a perfect world, Haas or Kelly against Alexander against Suarez, Kelly against Snell.
Kelly's probably shown more upside, but it's a tougher matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I wish we had a little bit more money to get the Cal rally, but we don't. So
again, we have the option to even go down. We can go Grandal if we wanted to go.
Sure, but that doesn't really get us anywhere.
It doesn't get us anything though.
Right. So, all right, I'm gonna stick with this then. We're gonna roll Heaney and Hunter Brown. Right, Hunter Brown. Yeah, Heaney and Hunter Brown at pitcher. Eric Haas, Shohei Ohtani at catcher and first base. Rengifo and Machado second and third base. Elvis Andrus at short. Mike Trout, Taylor Ward, and Jurickson Profar is the lineup that I'm going to be running out here. Our lineups have been pretty good, James.
Yeah.
We've done pretty well. Let's say the last time we did this video, we did the 5-man on my birthday for the Red Sox. That lineup cashed. Connor Wong, my boy, homered for us there at 4%.
Yep.
Nuke Bar homered for us at $3,100, and the 5-man Red Sox stack came in a cashing format for us here. Yep. So let's see if we can keep the hot streak going with the video lineups. I find that we've actually had more success when the lineup we've made hasn't had to be altered due to guys being out of the lineup. When guys are out of the lineup, we have to change up our thought process, and then once that happens, the lineup ends up looking like nothing like we wanted to play. So let's hope everybody's in the lineup, and we'll stay happy with it. But that's where we're gonna run. James, again, week 1 of the NFL season is today.
We're here,
right? We are here. Yeah. Season starts Thursday, as you'll see at the bottom of our little graphic here. 50% off All Pro access. That is through the first 6 months of our month-to-month package. Use code NFL50, and you basically get the first 6 months for about $20. And it covers not only the entire NFL season, it runs through the college football DFS, the rest of the MLB season, about till the All-Star break for the NBA season, probably till the All-Star break of the NHL season, all the NASCAR, PGA, the winter swing's going to start up soon. You name it, we're covering it. Esports, MMA, it's all covered in this all-pro package there, which you'll save 50% off with promo code NFL50. It's in the description of the podcast and of the live stream that you're watching here. You can go to fantasyalarm.com/allpro and take advantage of that now. My gut feeling is after week 1, that promo may be gone. So Make sure you jump on it now. And probably the best part of everything, not only do you get access to all of our DFS playbook content, you get access to our premium Discord channel as well, where we're in there all day, answering your questions, helping you out, start lineup questions, start sit, DFS, seasonal, and DFS. On Sunday for week 1, myself and Andrew Cooper will be in there in the Discord on live stream, answering your start sit questions live. Hard to do better than that, getting the advice of us during the NFL season. Week 3 last year, we had a millionaire winner, Millionaire Mike. He's in our Discord. He'll tell you about it. Ask him. He'll mention it. He won the $5 FanDuel Million contest in week 3 last year. So we know what we're doing. We'll be in there to help you guys have another successful season, not just in the NFL, but all sports as well. So you got to take advantage of it. fantasyalarm.com/allpro, promo code NFL50 at checkout there. 50% off the first 6 months. James, man, hope you have a good Labor Day. Any final thoughts for the people at home?
No, again, just everything that John just reiterated. Football season is upon us, so take advantage of everything we have at Fantasy Alarm now and throughout the whole season, and anything baseball related, we're still around 24/7, and just get in the Discord and ask questions. Lineup construction, stacks, weather, whatever. We have a weather center. Whatever you need, we're there for you.
Amen to that. So, all right, guys. Good luck. We'll talk to you tomorrow.